How's it going, guys? So today I'm going to show you how I apply a crop on all my videos, and also I'm going to show you how you can make your own custom crop within Photoshop that you can bring across into Premiere Pro and use it there. So if that's something that you're interested in, make sure you stick along, and yeah, let's get into it.
She gon' let that shit bang for me, yeah. She gon' let that shit bang for me, yeah. She gon' let that shit bang.
So, crops are just one of those things that are just going to drive you mad at the start, but once you get used to them, they're actually so easy. They actually will really change up how your footage looks. So, for example, here's two clips that I've put together. One has a crop and one doesn't, and yeah, just notice the difference.
Rest in peace, it's Screw tonight, we take it slowly. Yeah.
So, as you can see, there's a huge difference in the clips. But that's not the only type of crop that you can apply. For example, if I was doing a music video and I wanted to do like a VHS effect on it, that's what this looks like. So as you can see, two different crops can give you two completely different type of effects. It really just depends what you're going for. If these types of crops are something that you'd like to learn about, make sure you stay tuned. Let's get into it. Right, so now that we're in Premiere Pro, we're gonna open a new project and we're going to go to the project bin and we're gonna add a new sequence. So this is the sequence settings that I'm gonna use. I filmed this footage in 120 frames per second. So I'm going to use 23.976 frames per second. It's under the red preset, and yeah, so click OK. So now we're going to right click on the footage we're going to use, modify, and we're going to interpret the footage. So we're going to assume that's 23 frames per second. So because I filmed in 120 frames per second, this is going to slow it down. As you can see, it's a lot slower. So I've just pressed O on where I want the clip to come out, and then I'm going to press comma to put the clip in the timeline. So now that we're in the timeline, as you can see, it's a bit shaky. So just to fix that, I'm just going to take the sound off the clip. One sec. So now we're just going to add warp stabilizer. So this should just take 1 second, and when it's done, your clip should be fully stabilized. So this is very useful if you've taken the clips on a handheld device and if you're not using a gimbal. We're going to press plus on our keyboard just on the timeline, and control plus just to make it a bit bigger. So now we can see that the clip is playing a bit smoother. Yeah, so we're going to right click that. So we're going to right click that and we're going to nest it. So now that it's in a nest, we're going to apply our crop now. Alright, so now we're going to apply the crop. So in the description, I have all the crops that I use the most. So this is 1080p, so I'm going to drag in the 1080p crop. So this is basically just acting as an overlay over the footage. So if I hide this layer, you can see that it's not actually doing that into the footage. It's not actually doing that into the footage. It's just overlaying the footage. So obviously there's a better way to do this. You can just go up to your effects and put in crop. Drag crop onto your clip, and you can crop it this way, or you can crop it up and down like that. My bad. Up and down like that. But I think that this way is a lot quicker, and it just has a preset for you, so that's what I use. Right, so now I'm going to just drag in my adjustment layer and click that, color, and just apply one of the presets. So there will be a free look pack in the description with all these presets that I use. And yeah, so now I'm just going to show you what that clip has came out to look like. Right, so I hope that wasn't too easy or too basic for you, but that's literally how I crop all my footage. I literally just put the PNG file on top of the MP4 file within Premiere Pro and it's done. Don't really crop within Premiere Pro because it takes too long, and that way it's just so much easier. Recently I did a music video where I needed to do a split screen. I'll show you what that looked like now. So yeah, basically I needed to do like a split screen overlay within Photoshop, and then I just dragged and dropped that over onto my MP4 file in Premiere Pro. So I'm going to show you how I created that little overlay right now. Feel free to go if that's not something that interests you, but yeah, I'm going to show you how to do that now. Right, so now that we're back in the computer again, we're going to open up Photoshop and we're going to just create a new template, 1920 by 1080. So let's create that. So this is the size of our sequence in Premiere Pro. So we're just going to drag and drop our crop lines onto this. So we have our crop lines now, and now I'm going to just unlock it and I'm going to delete layer 0. So this layer now, if we were to export this and put it in Premiere Pro, it would just act as the crop lines that we had previously. But if you wanted to make this a split screen, you could easily just, this is very basic now. Obviously, if you were to take time and do this properly, you could make something like whatever you'd like. So I've basically just made a split screen there with the rectangle tool. So even if you have a paintbrush, you could go around, so just click anywhere and then press that. If you have a paintbrush, you could go around the outside and basically just do whatever design you want. But for this time, I'm literally just gonna save it as that. Right, so now that we're in Premiere, we're just gonna bring in our split screen and we're gonna have 2 clips here that we want to use. So I'm gonna just bring the clips in. I'm gonna just keep existing settings and I'm gonna put one over the other one. So now let's drag and drop our split screen over them. As you can see, it's only showing 1 clip. So now if we want to put that clip inside the split screen, we're just gonna come up here to our motion tab and let's scale it down a bit. So we want him on the bike there, so that's perfect. Let's get the crop from our effects and just drop it on that clip. And we want to crop right, let's just say there. And then on the clip underneath, we can do the same. So we just click that, make sure it's active. And we want this clip, we're gonna start this clip just here. And there you go. You have a split screen from your own crop in Photoshop. Right, so I hope that was helpful and hope it was basic enough. I hope you could follow along. Please let me know what you'd like to see next, if there is anything. If not, I'll just keep on thinking of other little tutorials that I can do. Thanks for watching. Please make sure you like, subscribe, and check out the description just for all the files for like the crops and everything like that. Also, I'll put in the look pack as well, just again, so you can test it out and see what it's like. Thanks very much. Salir.
I know the things that mean a lot to me. Oh Lord, I've been living how I ought to be. Nobody